Revenge of the Sith was the first film to not be put out on VHS.
Show them this.
And I was like,
Misa Jar Jar Binks.
there's only one true return, and it's of the Jedi, not the King.
Welcome to Real Talk After Dark, where we keep it real about life and film and dun. That's all I got.
That's as far as you made it.
Somebody go get Jar Jar Binks.
As you can tell,
It's a me. It's a Jar Jar Binks.
as you can tell, may the 4th be with you.
And may the 4th be with you.
It's that time. It's that time. We're gonna nerd out tonight, guys. We're gonna Star Wars it up a little bit tonight
Well,
Forward to it.
and talk.
may the 4th be with you, but Revenge of the 5th, bro.
Hello there.
See, I'm rebel scum all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Rebel
Oh,
scum
boy.
all the way, man.
So, it's been a couple weeks,
Yeah,
Well,
'cause-
Easter and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you guys decided to take.
I decided to take last
Because
Saturday.
Yeah,
TJ decided to go through Sarah and not the group chat or through me.
It was in the group chat.
It was in the group chat.
Well, you just call her.
Well, yeah, because
I'm the one that answers my
I was gonna
phone.
say she answers the phone.
You don't answer
Anyway.
your phone. If anybody needs to get hold of Ryan and he doesn't respond, contact me.
It's just.
Anywho,
I try not to have a relationship with my phone. I hate that thing.
yeah.
I read books on mine.
But Star Wars night, huh?
Yes, I'm so excited. I grew up on Star Wars. My mom loved it. Her favorite is Han Solo. She loves it. I remember. So we had a pull out couch, and we would sit on it. All of us. She would make this like taco dip that was delicious. Core memories watching Star Wars growing up.
I gotta remind everybody watching though, there's only one true return, and it's of the Jedi,
The best.
not the King.
The best.
Mr. Bill Conklin. Got him back on the podcast tonight.
Hello.
Let's talk about Star Wars, sir. Yeah, what's some of your... take us back to your earliest days of Star Wars. Like, where did you get introduced? How did you,
1877.
Yeah, how were you introduced into it?
I was doing plays in high school. I was acting, and somebody y'all might know, Michael Stipe from REM,
Okay.
did the plays with me. We were acting in plays together, so
That's
we
awesome.
did quite a bit. And we decided to go to a midnight showing of Star Wars. It was in 1977. And we
really?
decided to go to Creve Court and go see Star Wars.
Dang.
So I rode up with Mike, and we got there. He sat next to me, and I got through about an hour of it, and I was so tired from the play and the cast part, I fell asleep.
Oh.
But then I came back and I watched it 10. I loved it so much because I was so mad at myself for falling asleep. And I came back and I watched it 10 times in theaters. Back then you could do that because, the movies weren't like, you didn't have to second mortgage your home to.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But,
Okay.
so I'd seen it over and over, got the t-shirts and everything back then. I took my dad and I took everybody I knew. So I kept going over and over and seeing it over and over again.
You know what makes me laugh about that story? Is you still fall asleep now in movies.
Yeah, well, not as much. If I'm really tired or if it's a really boring movie.
Yeah. Dude, we almost all three fell asleep during a specific movie recently, but anytime you're with Bill in the movies, all you gotta do is go.
I have never fallen asleep in the theater watching a movie.
Oh, I have.
I have never done that.
I love the big leather reclining seats, I love, but they don't like me. As soon as
Yeah. Especially the ones with heated seats.
But I do that
man,
at home.
those are nice.
You ever watch a movie at home? You're watching it on like a Blu-ray or something, okay? And you fall asleep and you wake up and oh crap! So you rewind it back to the spot where you fell asleep, and you fall asleep at the same exact spot, like 3 or 4 times. It's like okay, I give up.
I only fall asleep from movies that I've watched too many times and can recite.
And I see a lot of movies like that. I got a lot of movies I watch over and over and over and over and over.
The only time I fell asleep in the theater was when I went to go see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the second Michael Bay one. with Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
I will admit I was a little intoxicated too that night.
Seamus wasn't
but
doing
I got so bored. I fell
Seamus
asleep,
wasn't doing it
and
for
when
you?
I woke up, the credits were rolling.
Yeah.
No joke.
No
joke.
A
I
lot
missed
of
that
people,
whole movie.
A lot of people went to see that one because of WWE Superstar Sheamus was in it. He was Rocksteady, I think, and I'm like, even dude couldn't save it.
Yeah,
it was bad.
yeah.
I remember watching the first one, but the second one is kind of a blur. But I remember it was terrible.
I remember he originally wanted to make it like they were aliens from outer space
Yeah,
and stuff. And
I
I'm
heard
like,
that too, and that would have been
I'm
stupid.
like, dude.
That's changing all of it.
Yeah.
But let's get back on Star Wars.
Back to Star Wars. We just celebrated the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Which I went and seen.
Yeah,
me?
I got to go see as well. It was so cool. It
Yeah.
made me feel young again.
It's cool seeing it on the big screen again.
Yeah.
The sound and everything.
I remember the hype for that movie, the build up for that movie back in 2005, and just looking forward to it. And then finally getting in the theater and watching it happen, and then it's really you're really seeing how time catches up with you whenever you're sitting there for a 20th anniversary for a movie you saw in high school, and you're just like, what the?
and you know what was funny is we went and seen it in theaters. You know what I did later that night?
What?
I watched it on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, you know what I did?
Watched episode 1.
No, I watched episode 3 on a physical media disc.
That's like, what I do. I've got them all.
Like these. You know, I popped it in and I just watched it. I watched it, the physical media right there, episode 3. You know what I mean? You got episode 4 right there, episode 5. And it's crazy to think that back in the day, it was only Star Wars. That's it. The Star Wars. And then you had Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
No,
they weren't.
It was called the first one was A New Hope. It was always called A New Hope.
No, it was just called Star Wars. When it first came out.
No, it's always been A New Hope.
It's always been
episode 4, A New Hope. I literally saw the 1977 edition.
I've got it going back. I've got the
says Star
VHS tapes
Wars.
when it came out in VHS the first time. I still got I can't watch them anymore, but I've still got the original trilogy on VHS.
Yeah, it was called. It was.
We
always,
have
it was,
the first one.
Yeah, it was always episode 4, A New Hope.
No, we got the VHS and it says Star Wars on it.
Well, if you would have found it, we could have proven that.
It's always been Star Wars.
Because when they do that opening title screen, it says episode 4, A New Hope.
That was but that was added way after the fact.
Oh, you mean like on the cover?
No, I'm talking about back in the day.
Yeah,
I was going to say I saw
before the prequels, before it was called episodes.
No, I saw
Star Wars
because my mom had the VHS from '77, and it said on the title screen it said episode 4, A New Hope. So
he had originally planned to have 9 movies, though, was starting with episodes 4, 5, and 6, then go back and do 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, and 9. That was his.
He did, but it never. It was originally before the despecialized editions. It was just Star Wars.
I'm still mad that they changed the Anakin in the original movies.
Oh yeah,
I respect the fact
Ghosts.
that I respect.
Oh, I mean at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You have to respect the original actor, and they should not have changed it.
Are you talking about Jake Lloyd?
No, at the end of Return of the Jedi.
At the end of
they switched it out.
Yeah, they
switched
switched
out.
George
Because when Lucas
spirit.
went back and decided to CGI a bunch of crap back.
Are you talking about when they
movies.
made him old?
No, you're not understanding. When they're all freaking dead and watching them party and celebrate.
The spirits.
Yeah. Might as well put
They
Ewan
changed
McGregor in there too.
Anakin
You know?
from the old Anakin to the new Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they replaced him.
Yeah.
Like Hayden, that was his prequel.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? They should have just kept the old Vader as old Vader.
Well, yeah.
You know what they
As old
did?
Anakin.
And I've always said this. People, to some people, the original trilogy, that's it. They don't want to see anything else besides that. And it's because I think 1, 2, and 3 was okay. But then when they went to do 6, 7, and 8, 7, 8, and 9, it was...
Hello there.
Yeah, you got big bugs in here. But when they did 7, 8, 9, it almost got too serious. And if you think about it, the original series was almost like a Saturday matinee type thing where you had the cliffhanger at the end. And it was cliffhanger after cliffhanger, and it was exciting, and it was fun, swinging on ropes and saving the princess. And then there was all these iconic lines like, let the Wookiee win. And great kid, don't get cocky. And, get this walking carpet out of my... All these lines.
We have necklaces, the I love you and I know.
And I know. Yeah, that's also... I know.
Yep.
No, these are all iconic lines from the original trilogy. How many iconic lines do you know of from 1, 2, and 3 and 7, 8, and 9? Iconic lines. Name one.
Hello there. Oh no, but that came from the original too. Because Ewan McGregor does it too.
All of the iconic lines that brought humor and heart to Star Wars was in the original trilogy.
I was going to say that one.
You don't have any iconic lines in the others.
Yeah.
And they tried to get almost too serious, where it was more like, we're going to do a Star Wars movie, it's going to be really serious. Well, parts of what's made the original trilogy fun was that it was lighthearted. It was fun. It was exciting.
It was dark where it needed to be.
Right, exactly. And then they would have all those iconic lines that you don't get from any of the others.
And I'll tell you what, I remember the original trilogy more than I do the newer trilogy, like episodes 1, 2, and 3, or even what was that now? 6, 7,
No,
or
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't remember those movies like I do the original trilogy.
I don't either. I remember the first. I remember 1, 2, and 3 better than 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah,
I remember those better. But when they got to 7, 8, and 9, it just got too.
See, and they messed that whole trilogy up. They took a good thing and then shit on it and then tried to fix it. And I still have not seen 9.
Well, they decided to let Rian Johnson go in after J.J. Abrams and kind of just do whatever he wanted. And J.J. Abrams set up a story, and Rian Johnson threw it out the window the way Luke threw it. I was so pissed off when I saw that, man.
That's honestly
don't
why
get me
I
wrong.
haven't watched it
I
yet.
like all the Star Wars. If it's Star Wars, I'm in.
Right.
The only one I couldn't get through was Acolyte. The series, and I couldn't really get.
I haven't
get
watched
into
I
that.
heard it wasn't that great.
I just
haven't
couldn't
really
get
watched
into
any of the series.
You got to see Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's
really good.
We saw
Mandalorian
that.
is excellent.
I want to watch Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I have
is
not watched it yet. But
Mandalorian. That is
It
like
lost me
original
in
Star
season
Wars
3.
stuff.
It lost me in season 3. But
Of Mandalorian.
yeah,
Oh, I loved Mandalorian.
the first 2 seasons were good, but
I'm gonna sit down. and watch it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the way it was made wasn't bad, but there's a fan who cut it together as a movie, and it's so much better.
It is so
And it
good.
works-
That's actually how I
works.
watched it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the
seeing
it's
him
called
watch
the
after
Patterson
Luke and
cut.
Leia as they're growing up was very interesting to me. Seeing them, knowing that he was there watching them and caring for them from afar, making sure that they were okay.
Yeah.
That was really cool to me to see that backstory of them as they're growing up.
Did you know that in I guess it'd be when episode 5 was made, Harrison Ford wanted to be killed in that one because he didn't want to be typecasted or remembered for something so silly, and it's like
He wanted to be killed. He was ready. He was gone.
I mean, there are certain characters you're just ready to retire, and that's fair.
After one movie, though.
Technically, that was his fourth movie.
No, that was the second one he did with.
He was in episodes 4, 5, and 6.
I know.
Okay, well then he was in 4 of them.
No. I was talking about when they did episode 5. He wanted in. What was it, 80, 81?
Yeah, I know, but he played that role. He did what he wanted with the character.
And it's like, dude, you're kind of needed.
Isn't George Lucas? I thought I read where he's coming back. He's kind of taking over the reins again with Disney.
Yeah,
he was sick of what they were doing to Star Wars.
They were ruining it.
They're ruining it, and so he's come back. Like he said, that's his baby.
Yeah.
Is George Lucas back in the game?
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's getting back into the game for the Star Wars, which
because they're releasing another one, aren't they?
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Because there was a 10th book.
I don't understand why things just can't be let.
Well,
what did you think about the standalone
There's a
movies?
lot of books that they can go off of. There are a ton of books.
I mean, but I mean, just don't.
One of the
main
standalone movies I really liked was Solo.
Yeah.
That was actually surprisingly well done.
Yeah, him
That was
meeting
good.
Chewbacca for the first time.
It was cute.
Him and Chewbacca.
I liked it.
and the guy that played Han Solo was excellent. I mean, he had the character nailed. I really liked it.
I think that it was a good movie. I just thought that he didn't play Han Solo too well. Because, I mean, yeah, he was always kind of a womanizer and anything, but I felt like he was worse in Solo, but I don't know.
He was still real cocky, you know, the way, the mannerisms, the way he talked, the pacing of his, that all really sounded like Han Solo.
He just seemed more reckless. Because if you remember in the original trilogy, like he's kind of like, all right, I guess we're gonna do this, and he'd go in on it, but I don't know. I just felt like he was more reckless as a kid, I guess.
I mean,
well, and that's
and I guess that's fair.
Though,
yeah, I guess that's
because
fair.
he's younger, so he's cocky, even cockier than what he was as he got older. So
yeah,
you know, because this is showing how he started off, so naturally that's going to kind of grow into who he became.
That's fair.
Now, I will tell you, one of my favorite memories of Star Wars is I'm a big D&D player, and we did a Star Wars campaign.
That's cool.
And it was so neat because like they had the books and everything for it, and I was like, man.
So this was a campaign that you guys were able to buy, and actually go off of. That's cool.
It was so cool. It was like, could you imagine them seeing this and be like, huh, this could be fun. Us playing ourselves with our imagination. And I'm like, dude, I would be all for it.
That does sound really cool. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, my sister's trying to get me to play Star Wars Monopoly online. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that. I've seen the little ads on my phone, you know, about playing now.
I had no idea.
Star Wars Monopoly. And you can play with other people. So my sister's wanting to play Star Wars Monopoly with me. So I might try that. It does look pretty cool.
I just recently got Star Wars Fallen Jedi.
You just what?
I just recently got Star Wars Fallen Jedi on PS4 because it was on sale for $10.
Oh.
So I tried it out. I haven't got very far though, but
did you ever play Star Wars Pod Racers on what was it, PS2?
That or what, N64?
Something like that, yeah.
N64 had a pod racing.
I thought that was so cool.
I don't think we ever had any Star Wars games.
I got some Star Wars games on my PS4.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. You want another movie? Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
You know that for the first time like ever, the Star Wars Episode 3 was the first game to release, like I think 2-3 weeks before the movie came out, that actually followed the storyline of the movie. Yeah. So if you played the game before you saw the movie, you basically saw the movie before it came out.
Wow.
It followed it basically pretty direct.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that people always joked about the most about
Jar Jar Binks
Episode 3, the one we just saw, is, and I never really thought much about it until we saw it again. And it's when Darth Vader finds out, you know, what's going on. He goes, no. and after hearing about it, I hadn't really thought about it. I'm sitting there watching, okay, it hit me. Okay, I get it now. No.
Yeah, it's a weird moment.
Unlimited power.
It was just too much, you know. It's like too much over the top. I'll tell you what, he should be upset, but come on.
I'll tell you what, I've grown. I think there's so much more respect towards the prequels than the sequels now. Not the main sequels. I mean the sequels that we have now, because I feel like they were so bad that everybody's just like, the prequels were actually pretty good.
Did you know that for Episode 3, George Lucas met with Samuel L. Jackson and put out, I think it was like 6 different colored lightsabers, and he said, pick one you want, and he went with purple.
He wanted purple
because
he didn't lay it out in front of him. He asked him.
He requested the purple lightsaber. They did not make that because they only had the 2 colors. You were either green or you were red. Or no, they had blue too.
Yeah.
But he wanted purple because his favorite color was purple. So so they made him a special lightsaber.
So there's a big fan theory that Mace Windu is a descendant of Revan, who was a neutral Jedi. He was neither good nor bad.
No.
And he had it's in the books. he had a purple lightsaber.
Oh.
Show them this.
Oh.
I love this.
Very good. Very good.
And I was like,
oh.
Did you see that one that Disney
so cool.
showed at I'm not sure what it was. It was 2 years ago. The guy he goes, this is as close to a realistic lightsaber as you're going to see, and it wasn't anything like that. It looked like an actual lightsaber from the movie, and they're using them at Disney parks now.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's just retractable.
Yeah.
Right. Try to find this. I don't want to fall over. I don't know.
But no, they thought the fan theory is that Mace Windu is a gray Jedi.
I mean, he is a good Jedi, so I mean that's not far. But literally, the only reason his is purple is because he specifically requested purple one.
Man, when Rise of Skywalker was going down, they were talking about the deep down, like who was running things and stuff. I was waiting for Misa.
Yeah,
I was waiting.
Dude,
for
that
would have been funny.
I was waiting for Jar Jar.
Yeah.
They gave us the freaking Emperor, and I was just like,
you
"That's
imagine
the stupidest."
No,
that's so stupid.
That would have been the biggest you to the prequels and everything.
Stupidest thing ever, bro.
Because people thought it was either.
I would take that honestly over what we got with the Emperor.
People were thinking that the big reveal was either going to be Jar Jar, Mace, which would have made sense because you never technically saw him die, or it was going to be Anakin somehow survived that whole time, and then the big reveal was Palpatine. Dude.
Well, Anakin would have survived because
in episode 3, though, Palpatine, I really liked the way you actually got to see how he rose up into the evil that he was.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's everybody's
seeing
backstory.
That part of that.
Now,
I love that.
Did you see the crazy thing that got pointed out in episode 2? Somebody pointed out that during the Senate meetings, if you look off into the left,
E.T.
Yeah. And I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
They're in the same world.
Yeah. That is really cool.
It's a good little Easter egg.
I was
they're
that's
buddies,
awesome.
Spielberg and Lucas and all them, so it was like a little Easter egg.
They made Rogue One, and I thought that movie was phenomenal.
That was a really damn good
That was
bridge
such a
to
good
New
one.
Hope,
Yes.
like a little side story that led right into it.
And even though
I literally watch those films back to back.
Yes. And even though I knew nobody survived the Rogue One mission, I still was devastated at the end. My little brother leans over, he goes, Sarah, you literally knew that none of them lived. I was like, I don't care. It's still sad.
You girl love the characters,
So I want to watch them all. I've got them all on Blu-ray, physical. Yeah, I love
Me
that.
too, buddy.
And,
physical media.
And I'm going to watch the original 9, or the 9 movies, and then after I get through the 9, then I'll watch some of the standalones.
Don't watch 79, baby. Don't watch 79.
Honestly, I've been wanting to watch the original trilogy again because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
See, now, while you might own physical copies of them, I'm going to be original, and I'm going to go rent them from vintage stock and watch them. So,
There's still a place you can rent DVDs from?
Yep.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
vintage
VHSs.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's $3.95 for 5 days.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah, but it's a drive because the vintage time.
It's in Fairview.
It's still a drive.
That's like 45 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or you can go 20 minutes over to Missouri and go to one.
Get what now?
I don't want to drive
Vintage
45
stock over
minutes.
at St. Clair Square.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can rent DVDs there.
I don't want to drive 45 minutes. I have to drive 45 minutes back. To drive 45 minutes back again to return the same thing I just got a few days later.
But
just for a little bit of nostalgia. I lived them days.
I'll make it worth it for you. Because you drive that 45 minutes, you can also stop at Krispy Kreme.
Oh, damn, you're right. You got me there.
I will never forget the day we went home because we were living in Jefferson City. And on the way home, we got 24 of them.
Yeah, buddy.
24, Bill. I went to work.
I did, yeah, suck them out.
Guess how many were left out of that 24? I want you to guess.
I'm surprised if there was any. I'd say 3.
He saved me 2
2
out of 24 donuts.
That was when you first got back here, right? Or was it Jeff City?
No, we were still in Jefferson City.
I said I saved you some, huh?
And he's like,
where did all these
donuts go?
Oh, it feels so good.
I was on the couch like this.
I recorded it. It's on a vlog because I was like, look at this idiot. I was like, I don't want to hear any bitching. I don't want to hear any bitching.
For me, I said,
I didn't eat any donuts. He's got the sugar all around his lips.
Dude, oh my God.
So
he saved me 2 out of 24 donuts.
If you remember when we did the Halloween vlog, when me, him, and Joe met up at Halloween, Spirit Halloween in St. Louis, we tried to get to that Krispy Kreme for like 20 minutes and it kept sending us through detours and crap. And he goes, I just want some damn donuts. And then we both bought like, what was it, 3 dozen or something like that each?
Oh my God.
Two or three. Tore them up.
Ryan, I didn't know you bought 3 dozen. There was only 1 dozen sitting on the stove whenever I got back that day. What the fuck happened to the other 2?
Like
Why am I suddenly very hungry?
I know, right?
No kidding.
Cut it out.
Because it was so funny because he went to the drive-thru and I went inside because we were kind of curious as to who would get done faster.
That's fair.
Turned out it was Ryan.
Yeah, I was sitting waiting on him. He came out.
He's got the camera rolling and he's laughing. He's like, dude, you had the same thought as me. And I'm like, well, there were buy one, get 2 more for $1 each.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I was like,
So we're into that.
I wish I could still watch the VHS tape of Star Wars because that's untouched.
Mm-hmm.
They have the original,
We
before
have the
any
first
of the
one.
changes.
Yeah,
We have the first one.
now,
Can you could still have a VHS player?
Yeah.
Well, for tonight. But I'm pretty sure Heather has a VCR player that we could probably bum.
now, let's talk about something that most people don't remember.
What's that?
A Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, I remember.
Oh yeah, with the oh my gosh, what are they called?
Talking about
Yes,
like
the
the
Ewoks,
worst,
yes.
the worst thing ever.
It was
Come on,
so
man.
bad that
Yeah.
literally nobody likes to talk
Now,
about.
Did you know
man.
that there was a standalone Ewok film?
Yes, I did
In
actually.
what was it,
It wasn't
90s?
canon. It wasn't
No.
canon though. It
Oh,
was
no.
made by some other
Yeah, it was
studio.
kind of its own
Do you remember
thing.
the first time you saw it?
No.
We were at Mike Wolf's house.
He's looking like he doesn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the original Ewok.
It was you,
I've
me,
never seen it.
It was you, me, Billy, David, Mike Wolf, and Ethan and Randy. We all saw it at Mike Wolf's
I
house.
remember that.
Yeah.
But the movie must
Yeah.
not have been that good.
No,
I was gonna say I've never had any interest. I heard it was bad.
Yeah.
I know
Oh, yeah.
of it. I've just never
you
seen it.
you kept watching it, and you're like, "Why are we watching this garbage? It's ruining Star Wars for me."
You know what's an iconic moment in my mind for Star Wars was when Luke, to survive out in the tundra, he gutted his fucking animal and had to sleep in it. That traumatized me as a kid.
Pom. What was?
I don't remember what they were called,
Pom.
but it was a giant llama thing.
That thing that he rode. It looked like a kangaroo.
That
white.
fucked me up for a long time. Like it took me a minute to get over. I would still watch the scene, but the whole time I'm just like, oh god.
Did you know that?
Tauntaun. Was it a tauntaun?
I don't remember.
I think it was
I'm
a
gonna be real
Tauntaun.
honest. I just don't remember.
Did you know for any physical collectors like of the VHS or anything like that, that Revenge of the Sith was the first film to not be put out on VHS?
Really?
Yep.
You were so bummed out about it because you just won't be able to complete your VHS.
Yeah, I mean you can get it from like
You can rip
black
it, but-
sellers online
Yeah.
or whatever like that.
Did
like
you
site
know
sellers who've recreated it, but that was one of the first films to not get put out on VHS
That's
at the
crazy.
times when they were transferring the DVDs. So it didn't get a VHS ever.
In The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker crawls into the carcass of a tauntaun.
A tauntaun.
After it had been killed by a wampa, a creature that also attacks Luke.
Yeah. Yeah.
it was on the ice planet of Hoth.
it was kind of
Yeah.
like a giant abominable snowman.
I
Those
remember
scenes
that.
were in
It was
the
like,
Empire Strikes Back. There were some deleted scenes where you see those wampas, where they're coming through the walls and they're attacking. It's around the same time where the I love you, I know. It's right around in there, but you actually saw more of the wampas attacking, from the base. So there's a lot of stuff that was cut out that was actually pretty good,
You know what? I would love to sit. But I'm also the type of person that literally will go watch all 3 Hobbit movies in one sitting and spend 12 hours at a theater. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with it being long. I've sat and watched the Shining miniseries in one sitting. I don't mind.
Yeah, if it's good and if it's holding your attention and it's exciting, then sometimes if it's really good like that, you get through the end of like 2.5 hours, it's like it's over.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's all.
happens,
You know.
Yeah.
But thankfully, you got another movie to watch after it.
Exactly. Well, that's Lord of the Rings. I can only watch the extended editions now. Like I can only watch. I don't even remember what makes them extended half the time because I have not seen the theatrical trailers or the theatrical versions in so long.
When I got the extended versions, it had on the readout, like it would show you which scenes were added or what scenes were inserted.
Okay.
So okay, this is a new scene here, so you can kind of follow along, which was kind of cool.
Do you remember the long lost deleted scene from Star Wars?
Which one?
When Han Solo was telling them about interesting facts about Tatooine. He's looking down and he goes, "Oh, here's an interesting fact about Tatooine." And Luke goes, "Oh, yeah?" He goes, "You made out with your sister." No.
And I think that's from Eurotrip.
I was going to say, I was
hoping she'd be like, retard, that was from Eurotrip.
Yeah, it was Eurotrip,
I've never seen that movie.
Who shot first, Han Solo or Greedo?
Greedo.
Han Solo.
Greedo
shot first in the specialized edition. Han Solo originally shot first.
Yeah, Han Solo originally shot first, but then they changed it.
Because that's always been a big thing with
Han
fans.
got him first.
Yeah. Jedi's wouldn't have shot for. Well, he's not a Jedi.
Yeah,
you know.
No, he's ordinary.
Yeah, he's just an ordinary guy. He's a smuggler. He's
exactly.
He's a smuggler. So what difference does it make whether he shot first or not?
Yeah,
I didn't care.
Nailed it. I think he nailed it.
Honestly, I think the how much I loved Star Wars made me love Firefly. Did you guys ever watch Firefly?
I've got it.
I love Firefly.
I love it.
Honestly, that it's almost like you're seeing Han Solo's adventures, kind of. You know,
that should have lasted a lot longer than what it did.
Oh my god, the movie! I pretend the movie didn't happen.
Oh, that's a piece of crap.
It broke me.
Speaking
broke
of
me in half.
Speaking of the great Nathan Fillion,
yes,
coming in as the Green Lantern and Superman.
This is not Superman podcast.
We're talking
this
about
is
Firefly.
Star Wars podcast.
We always go
Listen, Monkey Yoda almost was.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That would have been really weird.
That would have been weird.
Vote. Jar Jar Binks, yes or no?
Wait, what are we voting on?
Jar Jar Binks, did you like him? Yes or no?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes
I thought he was funny. Yeah.
Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
He was meant to be a relief.
So why was there so much hate against him?
I don't know.
Because
I
he
felt
was so
that
stupid.
was the humorous part of the film.
I feel so bad because that actor was almost driven to suicide.
Yeah, they bullied him to pieces.
And then poor Hayden Christian, or not Hayden Christian, but poor Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Honestly, whether if you like the character or not, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
you don't need to attack the actor for it. You do not need to attack the actor for it.
And I love Jar Jar Binks because he brought the humor that was missing.
I liked him. I always thought he was funny.
Yes, he might have been a little annoying and over the top at times, but that
was
fun.
his species.
That's his character,
But if you noticed, he was a very integral part of keeping Padme and the Queen safe because he was part of the Royal Guard and he worked directly with the Jedi Council.
It's funny, by episode 3, the only time you see him is whenever Anakin first gets home, and the only line you get from him is like, "Excuse me."
And at that point, he was already Lieutenant Jar Jar Binks.
Honestly, it's almost like he's saying like "excuse me" to the fans, like excuse me for being.
Well, to the actor that played Jar Jar Binks, we love you. Yeah. We don't care what anybody else says. We love you.
Well, you know that they brought him back. I think in Ahsoka or one of the series or whatever. He was one of the Padawan. I think he was the Oh no, it was the Mandalorian. He was the Padawan that was protecting Grogu during the storm of the Jedi Temple, which was really cool. So he was excited to come back, and actually he was like, I didn't think I was going to come back in this way.
Yeah,
so they actually brought him back in physical form, so you got to see him.
I don't know if you were paying attention when we went and seen episode 3, but I heard a couple of people saying after the movie had ended, they're like, so wait a minute, Palpatine was Darth Plagueis's
come on, TJ, you can do it.
Yeah, I know, I'm tired. His mentoree,
Yeah.
Padawan.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Because he tells a story about Darth Plagueis.
It's Darth Plagueis the Wise.
And how he had learned how to bring back people to life.
Yeah.
Except for, he goes, you know what the funny part of that story is?
People to life.
Yeah. Well,
Funny way to put it.
well, he goes, you know what's funny about that story? And Anakin's like, what? He goes, he could save, people from death, but he couldn't save himself. I'm like, that's what was funny?
I'm sure you guys know this story, but did you know that nobody knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father? Like while they were filming on set, the actor actually, because the actor would say all of the lines, and then you'd get the voiceover from Earl
James
Jones.
Yeah.
So only he knew, and I think George Lucas obviously.
It was, and I might be wrong because it was on an episode of Johnny Carson. It was James Earl Jones, George Lucas, and Mark Hamill.
No, Mark Hamill did not
know. Oh, he wasn't? Okay.
No, Mark Hamill did not know.
So then it must have been...
Because Mark Hamill was reacting to whatever the actor had said. And he said that I've even heard he said he was confused as to why his character was reacting that way. So whenever they saw the movie, they were like, oh, okay, that's why.
And did you know that is one of the most misquoted lines of all time?
Yeah.
He never said, Luke, I'm your father.
No, he just says, I
am your father.
I am your father.
No! Is that overacting again? No!
Well, that's why he
Darth
overreacted,
Vader.
because they told him to react like that, and he had no idea what he was really reacting to.
But it made more sense with Luke Skywalker
Yes.
than it does Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, I need him.
Well, I mean, imagine
Cuts
literally
his hand
going
off.
your whole life living with your aunt and uncle, knowing that your parents were killed off, finding out that Darth Vader killed your parents, only to find out that Darth Vader is your parent.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you freak the fuck out too?
But
I would need therapy after that.
You know what I would have done after episode 3 though? And when he asked where Padme was, and he goes, well, in your rage-filled, tantrum,
You killed her.
you killed her. I'd have been like, motherfucker, you told me if I join you I could save her. Kill Palpatine right there.
Yeah, but he was telling him the whole time that
she betrayed him too.
Yeah.
He was telling him the whole time that he had that he could show him the power to save somebody if they die, but because he just let all of his rage get to him, he was kind of just trying to blame it on him. Like, well,
yeah, but dude, you killed her.
I loved in part 3 when they're putting the suit, Darth Vader's survival suit on him, and they're bringing the helmet down, and that's really cool.
That was cool too. Yeah. It was very interesting to see.
I thought it was really cool when I found out that the breathing apparatus was a scuba diving breathing apparatus. I was like, oh, that's kind of genius. For 1977, that's pretty genius.
Anybody ever see the episode of Big Bang Theory where James Earl Jones and
doorbell ditches Carrie Fisher?
Carrie Fisher, he said, I know it's you.
Did you know?
They never met in
That
real
was
life.
the first time they'd ever met.
Yeah, they had never met in real life. Well, because he was just a voiceover actor. He, he didn't actually play Darth Vader physically.
Yeah,
just
but you
by the voice.
would have thought they would have met at like the premieres or something. But they had worked together for like 35 years, and had never met.
Yeah.
They originally was going for Orson Welles before they got James Earl Jones.
I got James Earl Jones' autograph.
Dude,
not personally. It was something I got. It was an auction where I had to
that's
bid
still
for it.
cool.
But it's the authentic James Earl Jones autograph.
That's
on a
cool.
picture, yeah.
That's cool.
I like that.
Yeah, and the whole reason they wanted Orson Welles was because of how he read what's the name of that damn book?
TJ having brain farts tonight, everybody. TJ having brain farts.
What is your deal, bro?
He's out of it
good,
tonight.
man?
He's unplugged.
Anybody home?
Was it
Never is.
Was it Into the World or something like that he was reading?
Huh?
I don't know. I have no idea.
The world.
There was a book that he read on the radio, and everybody flipped out thinking
War of the Worlds?
War of the Worlds. That's what it was. And that's why they wanted Orson Welles to do Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because of how realistic. Because like they said the phones were off the hook for like hours. people were panicking, going to the store, buying out everything.
Like, oh my gosh!
Yeah, people really fell for it.
Yeah, he played it off.
People thought it was real.
Yeah,
people thought War of the Worlds.
Shit.
The radio broadcast. They thought it was real
because at that time, War of the Worlds hadn't been brought out as a book yet, and Orson had the very first copy of it, and he was reading it.
People used to be real dumb.
Yeah.
Well, back then you
didn't have what we have now.
You didn't have internet back then. You didn't have all the things
so
that we have now. You didn't have special effects.
Yeah.
So when they interrupt a normal radio broadcast, which sounds like normal music, and they interrupt it, you listen because you didn't have everything else to turn to.
That's fair.
You just had radio, so all your information you got was from the radio.
But they couldn't tell it was a book.
No.
All of a sudden, it's like they're coming from the sky. Where?
The funny thing is, they kept it, because I've got the whole broadcast of War of the Worlds, the original broadcast. I've got that, and several times throughout. This is this is a play. This is not real. This is a story. But people didn't hear that part. They just heard this part and they panicked.
Selective hearing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they didn't hear, hey, this is just a radio show.
Right.
That's one of the problems with the world today.
Like people were robbing stores. There was a lot of gunshot victims at the hospitals because people were panicking.
Jesus.
So that's why they wanted Orson Welles to play Darth Vader, because how much he brought to.
That's fair.
And I'm like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got who we got, because that's such an iconic voice as well.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah.
It was meant to happen. It was meant to be.
I can't imagine anybody else other than James Earl Jones doing the voice of Darth Vader.
Well, and then it's funny.
Either.
And then it's funny when you hear the on-set footage, because obviously the actor had to feed lines. You know what I mean? They played back and forth, so it's funny when you hear the actor online. It just sounds like a regular person, just like shouting. He's like, "Oh, get him back over there."
One of my favorite scenes, actually, while I'm thinking about it, is while we're on Darth Vader's topic anyways.
Yeah, it's all about Darth Vader.
At the end of Rogue One, I thought they did that scene so well.
Yeah.
That was... I remember watching it for the first time and my heart was racing. I was just like, and I knew what was happening. But the way they reenacted it all was
throws one guy up to
phenomenal. See, now I gotta go back. Now I know I gotta go back and watch all these again.
I know. I was just telling him I'm so in the mood to watch the original 3. I'll probably watch Rogue One and then A New Hope and so on.
As we're fanboying out here, I just wanted to throw out the movie Fanboys. You guys know they've seen the movie Fanboys?
No.
You guys haven't seen the movie Fanboys?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I've never heard of it.
It's about a group of guys this is back whenever episode 1 was getting after, like 15 years or so.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I have that.
It was a movie about a group of friends that were trying to break into Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
to see a screening of episode
friend,
1.
It's like my best friend's brother that just died a few months ago. He left me all kinds of things, and Fanboys was one of those that he left me. So
that's a good movie.
I do have it.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, and I love the humor in it, and it's good. You guys will recognize the cast as soon as you look it up.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's literally a group of boys that go out to try to see because one of their friends got cancer, and they want to see if they can see the film before it comes out.
I saw it. It's good,
and it's really good.
I'm gonna have to see this.
And then I love that after it finally comes out in theaters, and because George Lucas, it gets to the point where they're like, we're only gonna let one of you see it, and it was him. So you got to see an early screening, and they ended up passing. So when they go to see it in theaters, they were like, I love it. At the very end, the movie ends with what if it sucks? And then the movie's over. I love it.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I got tickets to go see the St. Louis Cardinals against the New York Mets, and it's Star Wars themed day.
Ooh.
So you get a St. Louis Cardinals jersey with all the Star Wars stuff on there. You got Yoda and Chewbacca and TIE fighters, and you got all of that in the shirt mixed in with the Cardinals on the bat. It's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be exciting. They need to have lights. They need to hit the first ball with the lightsaber. Slice that baseball in half.
They do all kinds of things. Because I've been to several Star Wars theme nights where they, they play the music, and they have things up on the jumbotron, where you have all kinds of people walking around throughout the stadium in costume, and you got all of them, the Darth Vader and. It's really cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Imperial Stormtroopers and Chewbacca. You see all of them.
Check that out.
I've seen this. I've seen it. A lightsaber at Star Wars.
I need to get. I love your lightsaber. I want to get one of those lightsabers. We're having our pastor at our church is having a Star Wars theme tomorrow. He's a big Star Wars fan too.
Nerd.
And he told us, bring your lightsabers. I don't have a lightsaber. I don't even have a little plastic toy one. I don't have anything. So it's like, I want that.
You know what I wish they would bring back to Star Wars though? The rolling beginning credits. Like the story.
Oh, yeah.
My mom would read it to us whenever we were younger, and it's just so fun to get like a quick wrap up of the story so you can get going. I wish that they didn't stop doing that. That was probably one of my favorite parts about the original.
Just wanted to keep it unique with the original.
It just shows up your
but
mind.
It's a Star Wars thing.
Bum, 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 bum,
yeah.
and you see those credits going, and all of a sudden you see the ship. And it's flying over your head. You can hear the sound of the surround. You can hear it flying over your head. And all of a sudden you see the tip of the ship. And it just keeps going and going and going. And you're sitting there, man, how big is this thing?
Yeah.
And it's just so cool.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I wish that they would do it again.
I love the fact that he was unique with his cuts, where it wasn't just like a regular film would cut. Everything was always like some type of swipe. And it's funny because some of it's like swipes that you'd see like in your typical like Windows Movie Maker, your basic editing program or something like that, just little swipes the way it does. But it works so well for that movie. You don't really ever see movies using transitions like that, you know?
Yeah, you don't.
Very true.
I also loved R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh, yeah.
When you first saw them, because at that point you'd never seen anything like that.
C3PO is my favorite.
I really thought those were actual robots. I didn't find out till years later that they were people. Well, like R2D2, I really didn't think they would have a midget.
TJ,
dude,
did you live under a rock? Did your parents just keep you locked under a rock?
Yes, they kept me locked under a rock.
You know what? They had to have, because how in the fuck do you not realize that they were puppet?
No!
With people, no, I don't mean like a physical puppet where it's on strings, but I mean like an outfit.
Yeah. Like, dude, I lived under the stairs like Harry Potter.
Obviously.
Come on. My goodness. But not to cut off for very long, but scrolling back when I was trying to show you guys that video, one of the #1 shorts on YouTube is this guy.
Who is that?
No, probably just popped up on yours.
No, it was.
Have you even watched it?
I just did. And I even commented and liked it. So suck it.
Hey Adam, I hate to tell you this, but
how did you watch it while we're on the podcast? Because I didn't hear no audio in my headphones.
I know, because I have the audio turned down. I don't know what you said in it, but I watched it.
I hate to tell you this, and I hate to break this to him, but the B9 robot in Lost in Space, there was a guy inside of that robot too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I had to tell you.
Yeah, you know RoboCop? That's a makeup prosthetics what it is.
Dude, they actually use that stupid thing in a WCW pay-per-view. They had him come out and rip off a cage door to let Sting out.
RoboCop had to?
I was like, why? It was
interesting.
So, they used him, and then later on on Halloween they used Chucky doll.
I'm looking up Star Wars fun facts.
And they had Brad Dourif do the voice of Chucky on a pay-per-view. I was like, what?
Dude.
But getting back to what I was telling you.
It was October.
You're in the shorts.
It was October 30th, 2012.
Uh-oh.
It was a sad day.
So you finding some Star Wars fun facts?
When George Lucas sold Disney 2012, October.
And he gave them 13 years to do his shit justice, and they screwed it up.
Well, they're just pumping out content left and right. They're just parading it, you know? Like, let's do this, let's do that.
They turned Star Wars into a cheap hooker, you know, because it's all about the money.
Well, the problem is that they oversaturate. I mean, they put too much out, mainly just to make a buck. You know, It's all about money. It's all about business. And they throw as much out there as they possibly can. Some bite, some don't bite. But they put out, and eventually people are going to say, I don't another one. Doing the same thing with the DC and Marvel superheroes. They do the same thing. It's oversaturation.
Now,
I don't even care to really catch up with Marvel anymore.
I would like George Lucas to actually do a, kind of like they did with Solo, do a standalone film for Darth Maul and Darth Plagueis, because I would like to see how Darth Maul came to be, because you hear about, and
Darth
you only
Plagueis can be a hard one.
I know, because like that one.
I actually originally had a comic book story idea to do it. I forget the outline now, but I was originally writing one or going to create one back in the day. After hearing about all this, how he was created through that and everything.
Yeah,
I was like creating that comic, but it didn't go nowhere.
But like you said, Plagueis would be really hard, and like apparently they had thought about doing a Revan film about 5 or 6 years ago. And then I guess COVID kind of put that on the shelf because, a lot of people don't.
And the actor strike messed up a lot.
But a lot of people don't know about Gray Jedis. So it's like, do you really want to put a film out there when most people have no clue what the hell that is?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you it would go the way of Snow White.
Nothing will go the way.
They put Rachel Ziegler in it. She runs her mouth and it tanks. I told him, I sent him a screenshot. A friend of mine, I think she was in it. There's a movie called Death of Snow White, and he goes, "Didn't Rachel already do that?" I was like, "Damn."
Did you know that Kurt Russell could have been Han Solo?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
You didn't know that?
He was one of the. It was him, Ford, and one other person I heard.
Yeah,
see, once again, I can't picture anybody but Harrison Ford now. Yeah. But of course, if Kurt Russell would have done it, we'd be saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just depends on who you see and who,
what if Harrison Ford would have got like the Escape movies?
Yeah. That would...
Well, and then I just saw one where it said Kenobi was almost going to survive his fight with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Imagine what the movie would have been if Obi-Wan had made it past that.
Yeah.
Robert Englund encouraged Mark Hamill to audition for Star Wars. Hell yeah.
Really?
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that in a Robert Englund interview during like a Nightmare on Elm Street.
I love Robert Englund.
Was Mark Hamill or were they in anything prior to playing
Hamill?
Mark Hamill, was he in anything
not that
prior
I'm aware
to Star
of.
Wars?
He was a teenager.
Yeah. I think he had just broken into the business. And
Harrison Ford was in American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was in American Graffiti, so he was kind of known, from that movie. But I mean, Star Wars is what really and Carrie Fisher. I don't know what she was in prior. If she was in anything prior to Star Wars,
she was into 8-balls.
Jeez, you're wild man. Wild man.
Like like you just said, I can't picture anybody else being those iconic roles now.
It's just like with anything, you
like,
know what I mean?
Like, I mean, could you imagine, like, if Carrie's mom had been Princess Leia at that point? Debbie, could you picture Debbie Reynolds as Leia?
No.
I could at the time.
Yeah,
because I always liked Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
So I could have at the time. So.
I mean, she was only like,
I don't know if she could have played the spunky,
because
sarcastic.
She wasn't much older than
did,
Carrie Fisher, so
Debbie Reynolds was more sweet.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, hey, look at Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Lovitz. I mean, talk about holy shit.
This is a kind of an interesting fact. Less than 40 theaters agreed to book showings for Star Wars after its release because I guess 20th Century Fox was releasing The Other Side of Midnight. But Star Wars became the highest grossing movie ever made up to that time. And The Other Side of Midnight didn't even break 25 million.
What is The Other Side of Midnight?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, you got this side and then you got the other side.
Yeah.
So like the other side of Midnight would be like 1
right
a.m.
past man.
I don't even know what that movie is. I've never even heard of it.
And you were alive for it.
Yeah. Thanks.
See, you didn't fall asleep during that and then go rewatch it 10 times, with the lead singer of REM.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think it's 48 years this year, coming up on 50 years of Star Wars, man.
Oh, Lucas
Crazy.
wanted
Two
Jim
more
Henson
years.
as Yoda.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
Who?
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson, the Muppets.
Oh,
Yoda.
yeah.
Well, and he did Labyrinth as well.
Yeah.
I always liked Jim Henson.
Yes.
Did anybody see the movie Saturday Night?
No.
It's about the very first
movie?
episode of Saturday Night Live, and they had
you told me about
they
that.
were messing with Jim Henson because he was supposed to be in the original, and they hung his puppets, and they've hung my puppets.
Oh, man.
And he was so upset, but it was actually what happened that night, the very first filming of Saturday Night Live, and they had people that played, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, and they all did Gilda Radner, and everybody, they were just so perfect.
Nice.
And the characters that they were playing, they had Andy Kaufman,
Nice.
was on there. They had all these characters and how it all came together and all the problems they had trying to get that very first episode. If you get a chance, watch it. It's called Saturday Night. I love it. It was great. But yeah, they had Jim Henson was in there too.
Oh, there goes one of your lights.
I forgot to charge one.
Well, I mean, we're actually getting down to our last 4 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
3 minutes now.
Looking over you got the green light shining on you, and it's like you're turning into Shrek. You got this
green
green
light from
glow.
there.
Yeah, you got the green glow.
I wanted
got
to
a
give
green
it a
glow
little. I wanted to give it a
but
little
I'm
Star Wars
Frankenstein.
theme, a little Sith, a little Jedi, a little light, a little
so
dark.
she's Fiona.
Yeah. Yoda, yeah, Star Wars theme. Yeah, you're not. You're
yes, yes, this is wonderful.
I just saw a Yoda meme where, so like at the end of him and him training Luke, he passes on. I just saw a meme that said, no wonder Yoda passed on getting asked 1 billion questions by some dumbass teenager.
It's like, I can't handle it anymore.
Talking about Big Bang Theory earlier, when Sheldon's favorite scientist passed away, he's dreaming about him seeing him on Dagobah.
Dressed up as...
And he goes, see, this is the kind of thing you could tell me over a nice pastrami sandwich or something. And then about 5 minutes later, they go back and he goes, where are we?
that was Bob Newhart. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got the entire series.
He's like, I thought we were on Dagobah. And he goes, we are on Dagobah. This is a delicatessen on Dagobah. And he looks outside and he goes, oh, okay. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm just laughing because he's like, does this look lean to you? And Sheldon's like, where would you find lean meat on Dagobah? She's like, why would I know?
Bob Newhart made everything he did funny, though. Bob Newhart was so good in everything he did. That dry sense of humor. It just came out of nowhere. I mean, the guy, a lot of times, people didn't even have to say anything. All he had to do is sit there, be quiet, and just
He had
look
the
at you.
perfect facial expressions.
He did. Just perfect.
Phenomenal.
Man. Could you picture him in Star Wars?
Hey, Ryan.
No.
How old were you whenever you discovered Star Wars?
Probably like 11 or 12.
I was 6. It was
I was
93.
12, I did it with episode 1 and 2, and then I found out about 4, 5, 6, and then I watched 3.
It was
Hey,
90.
we had a long, for those of us that was there for the original trilogy, we had a long wait. To see episodes 1, 2, and 3.
I'm sure.
We had a long wait.
Yeah, but dude, shut up. You got to see episode 4 with a famous person. Shut up.
You can't. You can't
That's pretty
bitch.
dope
You can't
story.
bitch. You can't bitch.
Pretty dope
Yeah,
story.
I was telling Mom about it, and I texted him. I said, "Who was it that you saw Star Wars with?" And he told me, and she goes, "No." And so she looks it up. She goes, "Wait a minute, he graduated from Collinsville High School." I'm like,
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know if he graduated. That I'm not sure, but we did plays together in our junior and senior year. And I've got newspaper pictures of me and him together in the newspaper, and And he was just always fun to act with. You know, we always had these scenes together. It was so much fun.
You graduated in what, 79?
77.
Oh, so you're a Star Wars.
77 Star Wars. Yeah, that's why we went to the cast party to see Star Wars.
Well, because according to online, he graduated from Collinsville High. So
nice.
And I honestly couldn't tell you which year he was in, because when you're acting, I mean, you got some juniors,
all
seniors,
ages, yeah.
And I never really questioned, hey, what grade you? We never questioned.
My nephew's really big into theater right now. He's doing some singing. They just did Wonka, and he played Augustus, and he was singing, and Ryan's like, "Oh my God, he can sing!"
I was like, I didn't know he had a voice.
What? Wait a minute. Oh, no, I think, Mike's, I think he graduated in 1978.
Okay. So
a year after I did. Yeah. And the reason being is he sent a video, the class of 78 sent him a request to come to the cast party, and he couldn't make it, but he did send a special video that cool. We all have, where he's talking to us saying, "Hey, I wish you the best, and thanks for asking me," which was really decent of him.
Because you were born in what, 59?
58.
Damn, he's 2 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mike, if you're watching this by chance, I sent you a letter, but it goes through the fan base, so you probably never even got it. So, but I got some pictures I'll share with you if you like you in the phone booth. Yeah, I've got him in the phone booth. We all try to fit into a phone booth, and there's Mike up there. The
Sith are messing with us.
The technology is telling us.
The dark side is taking over. I warned you.
Dude, have you guys ever heard the parody to Let It Go from Frozen? It's episode 3. It's called Let It Flow, and it's Anakin and Palpatine. It's hilarious.
Let it flow. Let it flow.
I'll have to play it for you when we turn this off, because, dude, I stumbled across it one day on accident, and I was like, dude, this is funny as hell. Because
we need light. Don't worry.
I love that,
dude.
Who is your favorite non-human actor in the Star Wars series?
Still got to be Jar Jar.
Non-human actor.
Jar Jar. Okay.
Still got to be.
Man.
Either that or Boss Nass.
I know who mine. I'm going with Chewbacca.
I was going to say Chewbacca is the only.
Chewbacca
is the only choice in my opinion.
Yeah, Chewbacca.
But I will say I don't remember the robot's name, but I did really like the robot in Rogue One.
Talking about BB?
No. Oh. The one that ends up sacrificing himself at the end to get them further along.
Wait.
The big gray one. I don't remember.
I was going to say R4D4 was
cried
red.
like a little bitch.
That was a rough
during that scene. Cried like a fuck. And I'm my brother's looking at me like, Sarah, nobody survives. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
That's sad.
I did not know, because I must have forgotten this until we had seen episode 3 last week in theaters. I thought R2D2 was the only one of its kind.
No.
They had R4D4.
Yeah.
There
were other models. Yeah, there were a lot of other models. Actually, R2D2 was an old model.
Yeah.
So if I look at those characters I like, I've got to keep C3PO and R2D2. I need to keep them together. I can't separate them and say I like this one because they belong together.
And that's the best dynamic together.
When did they change his name? Because apparently in episode 1, he was just called 3PO. Because I was watching episode 1 the other day, and I'm like, where the hell's the C at?
I think they just call him 3PO for short.
Yeah,
just like you shorten
I was like,
it's C3PO.
But all the others, he was C3PO, and I'm like,
was just a short name.
Yeah,
it's easier to say 3PO than C3PO.
And I love that interaction between him and R2D2 the first time, and R2D2 is basically like, dude, you're naked, and he goes, what do you mean I'm naked? And he looks and goes, oh, jeez.
That was funny.
My parts are showing.
What do you mean my parts are oh, my.
Favorite, okay, and I talked to you about this beforehand. What is, out of all Star Wars movies, what is your favorite number 1 Star Wars movie? You.
Return of the Jedi.
You.
Empire Strikes Back.
You.
Lame.
Gotta go Return of the Jedi.
Empire Strikes Back. So that's 2 and 2. 2 and 2. I love Empire Strikes Back.
Return of the Jedi has so much happening, though.
Well, so does Empire Strikes
Back. It does. But I don't know.
Hey,
I think I just
and the walkers,
Hey,
those it's so cool.
Like Randall Graves said, there's only one true return, and it's not of the king, it's of the Jedi.
It is the Jedi.
When you can
Return of the Jedi originally was named Revenge of the Jedi, and they changed it because they said a Jedi would not seek revenge. So they changed the name to Return.
But that's not true, though, because the Grey Jedis did.
But when they made that movie, though, they changed the name from Revenge to Return. They say if you have any merchandise with that on there, it might be worth something. I think I've got some old magazines. I might have something that might have Revenge of the Jedi instead of Return of the Jedi. By the way, I know I've got magazines that have it. So.
Who brought balance to the Force?
Who do you think?
Anakin.
In the movies, yes. Do you know who was supposed to?
Luke?
In the books, Luke actually flipped sides. He joined the dark side. Leia brought balance to the Force in the books.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah. I'm like, man,
Luke flips in the. I haven't read the book.
I would like to read the books.
He ended up taking over his dad's mantle and restarted the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy.
I'm glad he didn't do that in the movies.
Me too. Yeah, that would have been a bummer. Yeah.
Well, they were talking about in episode 10, that's what's going to happen. But I believe it was COVID happened and they just kind of nixed
How could that happen when freaking they kill off Luke?
Exactly.
Yeah. That was sad too. When Han Solo's son killed him.
Oh, yeah.
That was sad. That was
Well, technically, it wasn't him that killed him. It was Luke just projecting so much force power because he projected himself onto a whole new planet, and he was just like, it's too much.
But I gotta say this. Adam, what is it? Adam Driver is his name. Is the only person that they should have picked to play Snape in this HBO shit. That's it. They missed a golden opportunity.
Harry Potter safe
honestly, they have messed up that show so much already. People are just not going to watch it. There's going to be
which one?
The
new Harry Potter.
I'm just kind of excited. They're going to make. I'm kind of excited to see John Lithgow as Dumbledore, though.
When is that supposed to come out? The new Harry Potter.
Apparently, I don't know. They're not taking any outside notes from J.K. Rowling.
Well, yeah, that's because of the fact that she kind of.
They have to distance with all the bullshit that she got wrapped up in.
I'm sorry.
They need to leave well enough alone. I mean, I love the entire series, the movie series of Harry Potter. Some things is better left alone.
They are, but then not only that, but things are just rushed so quickly nowadays. Where we can't even have like
everything's about this right now.
So
yeah. Because it did so well once, we can do it again.
I'm a big fan of the books. I have the set. I even have a special edition of the 5th book.
So
I also own all of them on Audible, and I own all of the movies.
Yep.
And I have a lot of decor in the bedroom.
I own all the movies.
I love Harry
in '98
Potter.
when the first book came out. I'm reading it, and I'm trying to picture each character. For some reason, I always pictured Uncle Vernon as the landlord from Hey Arnold.
Oh, really?
That little short guy, with the tennis t-shirt on, That's how I always pictured Uncle Vernon. And I'm like, the live, I'm like, damn, they got pretty close to that.
See, I actually saw the first 2 movies before I started reading the books, so I already had the characters in my head as
how different are the books from the movies?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Are they?
There is so much happening in the books that does not happen in the movies. There's more things they explain.
Especially
a lot more fun things.
Yeah,
like
a lot.
Read them.
Yeah, 4 is especially the one that's the most different. Goblet of Fire. Because that book is so big,
God,
they
it's
cut
completely
out,
different.
Yeah,
that's actually my least favorite movie.
Yeah,
Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite. I love
either
the book.
Either that or Half-Blood Prince.
Have any of you been to Universal Studios to see Hogwarts? Isn't that cool? How in the world that castle? It's so Hogwarts. You're looking up at this thing. It's like, how is this not seen from miles around?
It's
huge. You're on the highway, you don't see it. Unless you're in there. Then you see it, it's like, man, this thing is full size.
Has anybody figured out why I brought up Star Wars and Harry Potter at the same time? Because there was a comedian that went around and he goes, He goes, Harry Potter's not an original film.
Are we bringing our
And they're like, what are you talking about? And he starts to tell the plot of Star Wars. It mirrors, Harry Potter mirrors Star Wars. And I'm like, he goes,
oh yeah, I saw that video.
I was like, dude, that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, Harry Potter's just Star Wars.
If I ever come across it again, I'll share it with you. It is actually a pretty funny video.
Okay, that'd be cool.
How many wands do you have?
Got one in my pants right now, buddy.
I think I have 3.
I have Mad Eye Moody.
I would like to have Mad Eyes.
I have
Dumbledore's. Lightsaber your wands.
Some of the stuff is fairly expensive up there.
Yeah.
No.
I have a stuffed Fluffy that snores that I bought from there, and then I bought a pumpkin juice, which was absolutely terrible, but I kept the pumpkin. And then I've had legit butterbeer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
That's
and
awesome.
we ate at the 3 Broomsticks.
But-
I had a shepherd's pie. I'll
Gandalf.
never forget it.
I love that place. That
It
is
was
one
so
of my favorites. And the
good.
ride was amazing.
Yes.
And you know, the thing that you're in line for a long time, but you don't care because you're
You don't
seeing
care.
all this. Like
Yeah.
I went to the one in California and the one in Florida. So
I've only been to the one in Florida.
I've been to one. Florida is actually better.
Yeah.
Because you're outside, you see the car up in the tree, you know where the car's
Yeah.
and
The
you walk
Whomping
by.
Willow.
They don't have that in California.
Yeah.
And when you walk into the castle, then you see all the paintings coming to life and talking to each
Oh,
other.
that'd be cool.
But it was so cool.
All the holograms
it was
in
so
there.
cool.
It was
When are you
so-
gonna take us, huh?
Now,
Let's all go
Sorry,
right now.
we
Let's
got
go.
to
Let's go.
if,
Let's go.
if you really want to collect the wands, I would tell you to go over to Johnny Brock's over in St. Louis. They have
There you go.
licensed
Yeah.
wands. That's where I got.
He bought me a chocolate one.
I got
not too long
I got
ago. It was
Voldemort's.
delicious.
I did.
I want Lucius Malfoy's, but
Yeah.
I got Voldemort's. I
His
got
is
Dumbledore's.
really cool.
Yeah.
His is the only black one.
Did you hear the story behind that?
No.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Once we're off here, because
I was gonna say I'm ready to get off here.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
so.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a 2-hour Star Wars special.
I mean, we could talk. I could go on about Star Wars. I
Yeah.
really
And Harry
could.
Potter.
I love Star
No,
Wars.
but it's
And people
fun.
wonder, like, I got a Star Trek hat on, but I'm an equal opportunity nerd. I like Star Trek and Star Wars, so there.
Yeah.
Star Wars shirt, Star Trek hat. I'm good.
I love them both. I love them both.
George Lucas gave us some beautiful stuff,
He
Yes, he
really
did.
did.
and we love it.
And I'm
And
glad
John
he's back.
Williams, John Williams is the man.
Yep.
He creates some beautiful scores.
And remember,
that
it
we all
was
love.
Johnny Williams to begin with in Lost in
Yeah, that's
Space.
right,
Johnny
yeah.
Williams.
That's right.
All right. So, I don't even remember what episode this is.
Don't join the dark side of the Force.
Rebel scum all the way. I've always been a rebel. Always been a rebel.
It makes more sense that you're a rebel. Because you like to do out of the norm.
Don't join the dark side of the Force. Don't join. Don't join it at all. Don't
I
join
actually
that
went
dark
on a
side.
date with a guy that had a Sith tattoo.
Ooh, right on his booty.
Like,